What's going on, YouTubers? Welcome to another video. Today we're looking at Infinity Studios live video. It's live right now. I have no control over this video, but I wanted to talk about it. So here we got half-scale Legolas and Gandalf. Both look absolutely fantastic. That Gandalf, though, that pose choice really makes it super tall. It's like nearly 6 feet tall according to the dimensions earlier. I'm just like, oh my goodness. Now there is no English audio or subtitles for this, so I'm not sure what they're saying. I'm not sure why they only cater to the Asian audience. They really should at least have subtitles or, you know, an English and Chinese speaker. But for this Legolas, they actually are doing two versions I saw on Facebook. There's the, you know, full, like what I believe is silicone glass eyes, hand-punched hair, as you see here, and I think the likeness is spot on to Orlando Bloom. Really good. Definitely, you know, when you see this, you're like, oh my gosh, that's Legolas. Definitely very, very good. They also did a sculpted hair version, which does look good, but at a half scale, I wouldn't do the sculpted hair. I think for a 1/4 or 1/3, the sculpted hair is fine. Now, either it's my internet or their streaming that's causing this lag. So I'm just going to pause the video until it stops. Alrighty. So yeah, I think this one looks amazing. I do like the pose for half scale. I think it's a pretty good pose instead of just standing there. I'm not a huge fan of just the standing there poses. It's very boring. Even for half scale, I'm just like, God, they need to be doing something. Yeah, look at that Gandalf. Man, that thing is huge. Plus, you got all the Infinity Busts in the background. You got Aquaman, Joker, Harley, and Joker again. The Gandalf looks like he's leaning slightly forward as well, so you might have to worry a little bit about leaning issues over the future. You know, full mixed media, which I think mixed media is better at this scale because you want it to be as realistic as possible. So mixed media is the way to go, especially if you have, you know, real hair. You don't want sculpted body like that. That just won't work good. I think I like Gandalf more of the two. It's just that pose would make it so hard to display at nearly 6 feet tall. I mean, look at that. I mean, it is a cool pose, and I love how it has the Balrog on the base. Very, very cool concept-wise. If I was to get a Lord of the Rings half scale, I would want Gandalf more than Legolas. You know, I mean, I love Legolas, but Gandalf I view more as like the face of Lord of the Rings. You know, even though the story's more or less about Frodo per se, I still view Gandalf as like one of the main characters. Yeah, Gandalf looks great. Imagine all that beard too, and real life being all hand punched. Now, if I'm to guess on pricing, I'm gonna guess these are, Legolas is probably $3,000 to $3,500 for the full hair. For sculpted, maybe $1,000 less, like $2,500, if I'm to guess. And I think Gandalf would probably be closer to $4,000, and I doubt they do a fully sculpted hair version as well, but you never know. And we can also see Catwoman there on the right, which looks great. I think Catwoman looks amazing. Definitely one of the better likenesses on their bust they've done. You know, I think if you compare like the Ledger Joker and Harley, I think Catwoman has better likeness. Really waiting on the Khaleesi bust, though. That's one thing I really want to see. Yeah, the one problem with this Gandalf, though, I find, is that face is going to be kind of hard to see because of that pose. Now, check that out. Mixed media looks great. Really well done. Yeah, he did have more or less a simple outfit. The hair looks good. Likeness is good, but maybe could be better. You know, and then he's holding the sword and his staff. You know, this is more or less the exact same scene as the Prime 1 Balrog versus Gandalf, the You Shall Not Pass scene. I bet there is a light up in that staff. Yep, there you can see it. I was right. That sword would definitely need to be metal. I wonder if that Balrog also lights up on that base. Look at that. Very cool, for sure. Definitely not something I'm looking to buy. I'm staying away from half scales. I do love that base. That's a beautiful base with the little Balrog on it. I personally still like the Prime 1 Balrog versus Gandalf more than this. You know, this is definitely impressive, and I think if you're a Lord of the Rings only collector, this is a no-brainer for you. For me, I'm really just doing Prime 1 for my Lord of the Rings line. I wouldn't mind considering a life-size Gandalf bust, though. You know, like if I was to get another Lord of the Rings bust, you know, I got my Lurts, which I love, but I would love a Gandalf bust. Have to be spot-on likeness to Ian McKellen. See, notice how they have to move his coat to see his face? That's one thing I'm not digging in regards to this pose. The fact you have to move his shirt to see that face. And I do think likeness is a little off. I don't think that's perfect. It's good, but for how much you'll be paying for this, I think it's off. Plus, I mean, viewing this from the side, you won't see that face. You can only see his face from certain angles. It's going to have to be displayed probably higher up because he is facing down. So ultimately, I definitely would have chose a different pose. I think that pose choice is weird. It's going to limit people buying it due to size. It also limits viewing angles on the face and from the side. So, yeah, pose, that's a terrible pose choice. Even though it's cool, I would not want that in statue form. I'd rather just have his, you know, Heckamore Museum. Now, check this out. We got a life-size ring wraith. Ooh. So this is definitely new. I have not seen this yet. Full mixed media, sword up, which is definitely going to cause the height on this to be very, very tall. You know, I bet this thing also is probably 5 feet tall. Ooh, that armor looks excellent. Very, very well done. The sword looks great. Definitely needs to be a metal sword at this size. I'm curious how much something like this would cost, because, I mean, there's no silicone, there's hardly any polystone. All you see is the hands, a sword, a base, and the mixed media. I feel like this should not be that expensive. Yeah, the armor looks excellent. I mean, it's a shame most of it's covered, but it does look really good. You know, it looks like real armor. Definitely digging the weathered effect on that armor. Very, very well done. I do like this bust a lot, actually. I think this is really good. But for how much just mixed media it is, it would need to be a cheaper cost. You know, if this was $4,000, they're out of their freaking mind. That is a cool base. It looks like Rivendell, more or less. Or no, that looks like where the ring wraiths fought the hobbits and then Eragon saved them. I forget the name of that location, but you remember they all came together. They stabbed Frodo. They were more or less in this pose as well. Yeah, I really do like this. If this was priced reasonably, I would actually consider buying this. Displaying in my Lord of the Rings setup next to my Sauron, that would look sick. I just pray that the price is right. You know, because, I mean, a full silicone costs $4,000. This one, with zero silicone, hardly any mixed media, this should be a $1,500 bust. If it's $1,500, you better believe I'm buying it. I really like this one, though, for sure. I think they did a great job. And I love the pose choice. Even though it like kind of blocks the face a little bit, it works in this particular setup because there's not much to see in that face. It's just a black face. So, very good job by Infinity Studios here. Really digging this one. And I believe Sauron life size is next to it, although that one is about 6 feet tall, so I don't know who can display that outside of museums. That will be very difficult to display. All right, let's move along. Yeah, we got the life-size Sauron. I mean, look at that. Are you kidding me? Man, looking at the sword of that thing looks maybe 6 feet tall too. Now, this thing is definitely an absolute masterpiece. The ultimate centerpiece to a Lord of the Rings collection. Like, if I did Lord of the Rings only, I would definitely buy this. I bet the price tag is going to be $5,000 to $6,000. Definitely looks phenomenal. You know, you can even see the little detail in the ring. I like the pose choice, especially for like a half body. You know, I've seen Sauron busts where it's just like the head and the shoulders, and they were even huge. Actually, I think it was a half scale, and it was like 28 inches tall. So this being a full life size is just ridiculous. It's like the guy's head can't even reach the arm. Look at that. I'm glad they did the ring detail, and it's not just a plain ring. It's actually showing like the elvish writing or whatever writing that is. Definitely love this one. This would look so cool next to Prime 1's 1/4 scale. Although the size on this is just so big, it would make the 1/4 look small. You know, this is about almost double the size. I love the base on this one. They kind of followed the Prime 1 Sauron. Yeah, like that is a thick, girthy piece. Like, look at the hand size comparison. Wow. Just wild. Very, very impressive. But this is not your piece for your average collector, because obviously this is probably going to ship in 3 boxes and cost $750 to $1,000 to ship, plus the $5,000 to $6,000 price tag is my guess. Considering the sheer size of this thing, it might even be more. This potentially could be breaching $7,000 to $8,000. I think it's only for museums, the hardcore extreme Lord of the Ring collectors, and those who have 6 feet of space, plus likely 4 feet width, because of the arm out on each side. Definitely a masterpiece, though. I love it. If I was, you know, like a millionaire with a giant mansion and I had a dedicated Lord of the Rings giant room, I would buy this. In my current setup, I'll stick to my Prime 1, because I don't have the space nor an extra, you know, 8 to 10 grand for this bad boy. But definitely amazing. Now, we got all the silicones in the back. I've not seen my Khaleesi yet. They did say they were showing Game of Thrones, so they better show off Khaleesi bust, because that is what I am waiting for. Alrighty, what are we going to next? I'm guessing Anne Hathaway bust. So this one, I am curious why they did not put the gun in her hand, because obviously this is the same pose as the Prime 1 1/4 scale, or 1/3 scale, but they did not put the gun in the hand. I'm assuming due to maybe licensing restrictions, but Harley Quinn also had a gun in her hand, so why did Anne not get her gun? It just looks kind of weird. Like, is she Professor X, you know, maybe tapping her head to read minds? The pose just looks weird without her gun. I think if I was to purchase this, or if you are, I would buy like a realistic plastic 3D printed gun to display in her hand. Something very lightweight that's obviously not going to, you know, cause damage, but that would, you know, look good right next to her. Because obviously her hand is in the shape of having, you know, the gun holding that finger in the trigger. It looked far better. Yeah, I think Infinity nailed the likeness. Like, when I see that, that just looks like a real life, you know, picture of Anne Hathaway. The eyes, the skin tone, the hair, they absolutely nailed it. I think this has better likeness than the majority of their other busts. This one has one of the most realistic looks of them all. The base looks awesome. You know, basically got Gotham, Dark Knight Rises logo, good underbase. I do like the fact that that mask is removable, so you can show just Anne's face, or the goggle look, or the full goggles, like the, you know, the one on top of her head goes down as well. This is priced at nearly $3,700 if I remember correctly, plus when you consider tax, shipping, you know, you're looking at probably $4,300, $4,500 total. Yeah, their eyes they use are very good, very realistic, because they have a really good shine and they just look very realistic. Now, I'm definitely a big Anne Hathaway fan. I think she is absolutely gorgeous, and I did enjoy her performance as Catwoman. It's just, to me, Catwoman is more of a B character, and I'm trying not to buy B characters in busts and spend $4,000 plus space. I mean, I do love this and I would love to own it. It's just, it's hard to spend $4 grand on a bust. You know, money does not grow on trees here at the Flankster cave. Especially when the wife is constantly wanting me to get out of collecting. But yeah, this looks good. That has a weird looking orange, obviously for size comparison. But I am digging this Anne Hathaway. I think it looks amazing. Very, very good. I would say if you collect the Dark Knight, you know, trilogy, like that's your main focal point for your collection, absolutely buy this. Or if you're a huge Anne Hathaway, like she's your #1, you love her more than life itself, buy this. You know, like if this was Black Widow, I would buy it. You know, like my top 3 is Scarlett, Gal Gadot, and Margot Robbie. So those 3 I will buy in this format. I would even consider maybe a Megan Fox from Transformers 1. Alrighty, so looks like Superman. No, Bale. Yeah, Bale holding his mask. What is this? A 1/4, 1/3, a half scale. That's a fully sculpted hair, so likely smaller scale. It says, oh wait, that's the bust. Oh my gosh, that's a bust. Okay, so we got 2 different versions of Bale. Ooh. Oh, okay. What is this? No, this looks like Robert Pattinson. Yeah, Robert Pattinson life-size bust. That's a really cool looking bust. That Bale one, though. All right, and so this is Superman. Is that supposed to be Henry Cavill? That looks a little off if it is. Maybe this is the Henry Cavill bust. Because I believe they were doing another one. Ooh, Justice League Snyder cut. Oh, that looked sick. Ooh, okay, so here is Terminator Arnold. Is this Old Man Arnold? I believe it is. Yeah, because it has a beard. Old Man Arnold, life-size bust, half bust. Yeah, definitely pass for me because it's Dark Fate, not collecting Dark Fate. So, pass for me. What is this? Okay. Ooh, Khaleesi. Oh my gosh. What do we got here? Khaleesi. Likeness looks initially really good. Look at that. You got a nice base. The baby dragon. Oh, yeah. Look at that. So, considering they're back in the middle, I think it might be over. So, I'm just going to pause the video. Alrighty, so yeah, it looks like the event is over. I'm curious if I could just go back and view some of those screenshots real quickly. Yeah, like that Christian Bale bust. Let's maximize this. Yeah, that looks really good. Check out that base. Holding his actual cowl. So this is going to be more expensive because it's going to have a full silicone head. I mean, conceptually I do like it a lot. The idea that you get to see the Christian Bale head, he's holding his own mask. That's really cool. It's definitely going to be a $4,000 bust. Then you have the Batman. That looks really good. I like the base. I definitely like it. I still like my Infinity Studios current one better. All right, so check out the Justice League Snyder cut Superman. I don't know. I feel like likeness is off. Maybe just because it's not colored. You know, it definitely looks really good. And I suppose if you did not want the one where he's opening his shirt that I currently have on pre-order, this would be a good option. But this will definitely be the black suit version. And I'm always a much bigger fan of the normal suit, like the OG suit. Now, Khaleesi, we see a baby dragon right here. I believe this is her white outfit. And there was another dragon on her. Let's see. I'll just play and then pause it. All right, so you got the base, a dragon. She's holding another dragon. Where is the third dragon? Is it possibly behind her is my guess? Likeness is difficult to say, especially like right here. I mean, right there, it doesn't look that great, but when you see the up-close ones, I think it looks a little bit better. You know, like, let's watch that again. You know, like, you can start to see some of Emilia Clarke's likeness right there. So, I mean, this is just a concept, really. Like, they're 3D building it. I don't see any third dragon. I'm curious. It must be on the back part of her, because I don't see anything else. But yeah, that's basically it though, folks. So lots of good stuff. Seems like all the previews they just showed are probably still whiles out. Thank goodness I'm not interested in the Terminator Bust. Definitely no interest in Dark Fate. T2 is pretty much the only movie I want to collect from. But Khaleesi Bust, I don't know. I need more pictures. I want to see a fully painted prototype. It's not mind-blowing me yet, but we need to see a physical prototype painted with the real hair and everything. So it's not blowing me away like, holy shiz. You know, like there are other busts when you see her like, oh my gosh. So I will wait for future, you know, picks and whatnot. Because, you know, if I'm going to be spending, you know, $4 to $6 grand on that bus, it needs to be freaking perfect and details better be spot on. I'm sure it'll look a lot better once it's fully done, though. Anyways, that is it. What do you guys think? Are you guys going to be collecting any of these? They did show off a bunch of these, like, weird Dynasty Warrior statues. Don't really care for that. They're DBZ. I'm not really digging Infinity Studios DBZ. It's extremely pricey, and it's just not as impressive as, like, KD Collectibles. So, not really looking into getting any Infinity Studio DBZ products. That's it, though, folks. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day.